Welcome to the Westside Investors Network, WIN, your community of investing knowledge for growth. This is the Real Estate Professionals Investing Podcast for real estate professionals by real estate professionals. This show is focused on the next step in your career, investing. Thank you for listening. And please, if you like our content, rate us on your podcast provider. Just a quick disclaimer, the views and opinions expressed in this podcast are for educational purposes only and should not be construed as an offer to buy or sell any shares or securities, make or consider any investments, or take any other action.
Welcome back to another episode of the Deal Deep Dive segment on the Westside Investors Network podcast. I'm your host, Trent Werner. In this segment, our featured guests will share their unique stories on a specific deal they've invested in. We will dive deep into finding the deal, financing the deal, writing an offer, and the due diligence. Do us a solid and smash that subscribe button, leave us a rating, and share this episode. And now, let's dive deep. Welcome back to the WIN podcast. I'm your host, Trent Werner. On today's episode, we are joined by Adam Bergman, co-founder of IRA Financial. IRA Financial has helped over 25,000 clients invest over $4.5 billion in their own self-directed investments. Adam and I are going to get real into the weeds on the different benefits between self-directed IRAs and traditional Roth IRAs. We're going to talk about solo 401ks for business owners. This is a conversation that you're not going to want to miss. There's a lot of information packed into this 25-minute episode. Now let's welcome Adam Bergman. Adam Bergman joining the WIN podcast today. Adam, thanks for coming.
Pleasure being here. Thanks so much for having me.
So Adam Bergman, probably known by some of our listeners already because he has an extensive background in this space of self-directed investments and financial, retirement account investing into alternative assets, as well as being a very decorated attorney in this space. Adam, for people that don't know who you are, who is Adam Bergman?
Well, I'm someone that's super passionate about what I do. I'm very lucky to have found my niche because it took me some time to get here. I actually went to law school. I got a Masters in Taxation. I worked at some of the largest law firms in the world in New York City, and I didn't really have a calling. I was a good lawyer, worked on a lot of cool stuff, a lot of really big deals, learned a lot, but I just felt I was missing something. I wasn't like 100% passionate what I was doing. And I got lucky. My 8th year working, I had a client that was a really big hedge fund investor. He was a partner in a very big hedge fund in Connecticut, and he wanted to look at potentially using his IRA to invest in a hedge fund. And I got lucky enough to be tasked with researching this investment, and I had no idea that this was even possible. And I remember at that point, there was a library in our law firm, craziest, but 17 years ago. So yeah, they had libraries back then. And I did some research, didn't find a whole lot. But I found out that yes, you are able to use your IRA to invest in hedge fund and a lot more like real estate. And essentially I looked around the internet and there were some companies doing it, but are charging a lot of money, bad technology, no education. So I quit law and I started IRA Financial.
And I mean, like I said, before we even started recording, investing using an IRA into alternative assets is something that I wasn't aware of more than a few years ago. And I feel like a lot of people are in the same boat as myself. They hear IRA, they think equities, stock market, bonds, those sort of things. Aside from real estate and hedge funds, are there any other alternative assets that people can use an IRA to invest in?
Yeah, Trent. I mean, you're not alone. Like I was the same way. I thought you had to invest your IRA or 401k in stocks. I mean, that's what I did. Yeah. I had no idea. And that's what really drove me to start this business because like, hey, I think I'm a pretty smart guy. I'm pretty sophisticated. I had no idea. So how many millions and millions and millions of Americans are out there that may want to do this, but have no understanding, no knowledge. So yes, the rules are actually really, really, really simple. So there's only 3 things you cannot do with an IRA. That's it. Okay. IRA is just a little bit of background. IRAs were created in 1974 by ERISA, and Congress did not distinguish between an IRA that invests in stocks and an IRA that invests in real estate. So the word self-directed IRA, you're not going to find in the Internal Revenue Code. It does not exist. But what does exist, so there's 2 sections that identify what you cannot do with an IRA. And here they are, super simple. So Section 408, you can't buy life insurance. You could with a 401k, just not an IRA. Number two, you can't buy collectibles like art. And then thirdly, the biggest category is found under Internal Revenue Code Section 4975, and it says this in sum. When you make your IRA investment, it must be done to exclusively 100% benefit your IRA. So in turn, you cannot do anything in your IRA that personally benefits you individually, your lineal descendants, your parents, your children, your spouse, daughter-in-law, son-in-law, or any entities 50% or more controlled by such persons. Otherwise, you can do it. So you have a world of investment opportunities, whether it's real estate, residential, commercial, Bitcoin, gold, private placements, private businesses, hard money loans, real estate investment funds, stocks, obviously bonds, you name it, you can do it, other than those three things.
And this might be a novice question, but if it's having to benefit the IRA itself, if you are receiving quarterly distributions from, let's say, real estate, do those distributions have to be put into that account?
Yes. So really good question. So I think the two main benefits of using a self-directed IRA, the first you just hit on, tax benefits. So when your IRA makes an investment, in general, all the income and gains flow back to the IRA without tax. So you invest $100,000 in real estate and you get $1 million back a year later, a month later, 5 years later, 10 years later, tax-free back to your retirement account. Dividends, interest, income, gains, capital gains, royalties, all tax-free back to your retirement account. So that is the first major advantage of a self-directed IRA is, of course, the tax benefits. And that's why, as a tax lawyer, I am so passionate about the self-directed retirement world. Second, for me, it's diversification. It's freedom. To me, there's nothing more American than being able to decide, control what you invest in. So, for example, the last week or so has been kind of crazy in the stock market, tariffs, trade wars. I mean, the last little while has been pretty crazy, ups and downs. Well, if you diversify, you're not happy that the markets are going down, but you're not losing sleep because you're investing in real estate, you're investing in gold, you're investing in different investments, so you're diversified. And that's what a self-directed IRA can help you do.
Yeah, and that makes perfect sense. So the biggest benefit that I've heard so far is obviously the tax benefit on the gains that are going back into the account. Who do you think is the, I guess, main prospect for someone to reach out to IRA Financial, for example, and help use your company, work with your company?
Yeah.
Is it someone that's 75 years old, or is it someone that has an IRA that's 24?
Great question. So, I mean, there's 65 million IRAs out there. There's about over $13 trillion in IRA money. And there's approximately $600 billion each year that move from 401ks to IRAs by way of rollovers, right? When people leave their job. So it's really anyone. In general, as you know, Trent, it's hard to do anything with $1,000, $5,000, right? So if you're just starting, you're a novice, and you're just first job, you're just trying to save, other than maybe Bitcoin or gold or maybe some small private investments, probably not going to be able to do much. So the best thing to do is just save, buy stocks, do cryptos, do whatever you want, but it's going to be a little bit more difficult to buy real estate or get into real estate funds or do hard money loans. So I would say the average customer is over 100,000, but we have a lot of clients anywhere from 25,000 plus. But the most important thing is just doing what you want. So that's what I'm here, is to educate people. This may not be for everyone. That's fine, but you should know your options, right? It's in the tax code. We should be educated enough to know what you can do. And then it's up to you as a free American to decide what you should invest in. That's up to you. And that's the beauty of the American retirement system.
Yeah, and I'm an American that has an IRA, and I have my financial advisor take care of it. I heard that I should start an IRA as a 1099, business owner, and so I did that. And like I said, I thought I had to leave it with him, just invest in stocks. And so for someone that's in my position, or anyone else that's in a similar position, what's the first step of becoming a self-director of my IRA?
Right. So for Trent, I'm going to give you some free legal advice right now. So if you're a 1099, what I would do is not set up a SEP IRA or an IRA. I would set up what's called a solo 401k. It's the most robust retirement plan For example, in 2025, under 50, you can put away $70,000 pre-tax or Roth. If you're over 50, you can put away 77,500. You could self-direct. You could actually borrow against it up to 50K. So it's a great plan. Whereas an IRA will only give you 7 or 8,000 if you're over 50. So that's number one. Number two is there's a lot of great companies in the self-directed retirement space. Obviously, I think what IRA Financial does is far superior. Just not only is our pricing flat and fair, but we have the expertise. So I think it's super easy. It's not intimidating. It's basically like opening a Schwab or Fidelity or Vanguard account. It's basically a couple questions, basic info, your social, name, address. You fill out where you want to move the money from. We initiate it. If it's coming from any financial institution, it's tax-free when you move money within the retirement world, IRA to IRA, any type, tax-free. And then once you have it, once it travels to IRA Financial, you're notified, and then you get to have fun. You get to invest in almost anything you want.
Well, and then that's my follow-up question is, let's say I'm not in tune with the investment world and I've just done what people have told me, whether it be a 401k or IRA or, just invest like people have told me for hundreds of years. How do I choose what to invest in if I, work with IRA Financial, for example?
Yeah, I mean, the beauty of it is obviously it's what you want. So if you're comfortable, just kind of, hey, I'm going to start with stocks. Like, for example, I have a 14-year-old son. He's super into stock trading. Like, we talk about it every day. What we do is we research companies together. Each week, I give him $50, and I can't do it in an IRA yet because he's not able to work. But I give him $50 a week to invest, and he has to invest it. It's not spending money; it's investing money. And what we do is we learn about different companies he wants to invest in. I explain to him how to look at financials and how to understand the market. So if that's what you want to do, great. If you want to learn about real estate or real estate investing or gold or Bitcoin or investing in a neighbor or friend's business, you can also do so. So the beauty is the world's out there. You can do almost anything you want. Obviously, yes, agreed, Trent. You want to do your diligence. You want to take your time. You want to understand what you're doing, but you don't have to be intimidated because you get to do whatever you want. And if you want direction, you can get it. But you can also diversify and have some in stocks and some in gold and some in Bitcoin and some in real estate and have a real full diversification portfolio.
Is there a time component or time restriction to any of your investments that you make in a self-directed?
No, you can hold it for 30 years. You can hold it for a minute. Totally up to you. You can day trade Bitcoin or stocks. You can hold land for 30 years. No, it's super easy and flexible. You just basically need to decide what you want to do. It's helpful to work with a company like IRA Financial because then obviously we'll look at the investment with you. We're not going to analyze it from an economic standpoint, but we're going to let you know, hey, it's kosher, it's not prohibited, you can do it. Here's some potential tax implications you may want to consider. Here's some structuring ideas that we can help you with to minimize taxes, maximize tax benefits, but it's up to you. So to me, there's nothing more American than this because this is freedom, right? You get to invest in almost anything you want. You don't have to listen to your financial advisor if you don't want to, and you don't have to listen to the government to tell you what to invest in. You can do whatever you want.
And now here's a word from our sponsor.
Get things done while you're on the move. Learn more about working with a virtual assistant through Offsite Professionals. It's a great way to get all the things done that you need to get done. Have freedom in your time and streamline your life by automating your business. Stop spending time on the tasks that you can delegate and start spending more time on your superpower. Call us today at 503-446-3177 or visit our website at offsiteprofessionals.com.
Uptown Syndication is now offering a syndication coaching program for you to take your real estate portfolio to the next level. This is your opportunity to have experienced syndicators, AJ and Chris Shepard, coach you on your way to controlling your real estate investing future. Our coaching program will provide you with the tools and framework needed to begin syndicating real estate in your target market. Go to uptownsyndication.com today to learn more. So when it comes to IRA Financial, and you mentioned kind of helping people underwrite or analyze investments, what does the client experience look like at IRA Financial when it comes to, hey, I'm ready to make an investment. I have a couple questions. Can you help me out?
Great. So we have an amazing team, like 100 plus folks, where, obviously training is important. an education in what we do, but we encourage people to call us. It's not just, hey, chat us or send us a text. We want to talk to you. You don't have to. We'd love to talk to you. And what we do is there's an onboarding process where you'll talk to a customer service person to make sure if you'd like your investment makes sense, it's not prohibited. You'll go into our website, our app. You can be onboarded in 10 minutes. We do a KYC because we're a regulated trust company. It takes about a day to get your account approved. Then you'll be notified that we've initiated the transfer since you provide us all your retirement account information, or you could send it to us. We'll then pull it from the Schwab's, Fidelity's, wherever you have your IRA money. You'll then be notified when it arrives. And then you just go onto our website or app and indicate where you want us to send the money. And then the investment will be titled in the name of your IRA. Or there's something called the checkbook control structure, which is a really cool structure. And I was one of the first to work in it around 15 years ago, where we set up an LLC that's wholly owned by the IRA. So you have an IRA, then the LLC, and by using the LLC, you get what's called checkbook control. So you're the manager of the LLC. So if you need to make an investment, you write the check. You got to pay Joe the plumber. You write the check. You have more control. You don't have to go through the custodian to get things done. You also get limited liability protection, which is important for real estate. You get privacy since the investment is in the name of the LLC, not your IRA. So there are two options to make the investment. But once that's done, we help you with everything. We hold your hand. And then the good news, we don't leave you, right? Because we're your partner. We are going to do all the administration on your IRA, do all the maintenance. We offer compliance service, tax filings, like we do it all. The only thing you need to do is literally pick what you want to invest in, tell us where to send the money, and then hopefully you picked right and your investment goes up, and then all the gains and income will flow back tax-free.
So you mentioned an example of paying a plumber. With a self-directed IRA, paying a plumber, that seems like an expense. But if that's allowed, as long as it's in relation to an investment property or flip or something like that?
Exactly. Like, as long as you're not paying your lineal descendant, your parent, your children, your spouse, daughter-in-law, son-in-law, or yourself, you can do it. So of course you can pay taxes, you can pay a plumber, landscaper, or whatever. I have a lot of clients that will fix and flip. So they'll do improvements, put a pool in, landscaping, or they'll buy land and develop it. I mean, they won't actually take the hammer and the nail, but they'll hire a contractor. They'll manage the process from afar as a passive investor. They'll have other people that are obviously doing the construction. And then, when you flip the house or sell it, the gains will go back to the retirement account without tax.
And I'm assuming this LLC that's owned, just sticking on this example, this LLC that's owned by the IRA, if you buy 5 different single family investment properties, it can all be under one umbrella, right?
Correct. Or some clients like to set up separate LLCs for each property just to make sure that you can bifurcate risks. So God forbid there's an issue with one asset, doesn't spill over to the other. But it's up to you, and that's something we'll help you with, where to form it. We do it all. We'll do the LLC, the tax ID number, the operating agreement. We do it all, literally all. The only thing you need to do is kind of onboard. It takes about 5 minutes, and tell us where you want to invest. We do the rest.
And Adam, aside from tax benefits and freedom benefits, or freedom benefits, I'd say, with the self-directed IRA, are there any other benefits out there to self-directing your own IRA versus having a person manage it?
Personally, listen, I do better when I invest, when I care about the investment. So there are a lot of people out there that don't understand Wall Street. I mean, I'm one of them. I lived in New York City, like 20 years. Like, I have a lot of friends on Wall Street. I don't understand what's going on there sometimes, why stocks go up or down. We saw with the market meltdown, with the tariffs and the trade wars, like, if you don't want to deal with that stuff, you want to sleep at night, and you're just like, you know what? I want to be able to drive around the block and see what my IRA owns. I want to actually touch the house. Or, you know what? I care about my community. I want to invest in local businesses. Or, my brother or my sister, because they're not lineal descendants, they need money. I want to lend them or invest in their business. Some people feel more focused on that. And because they're interested, they're going to be better investors. So listen, it's all up to the investor. There's no right or wrong. And that's what, being American is. We each get to create our own path.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. And for me, I mean, my wheels are already spinning about converting into a self-directed IRA and being able to use some of that for what I know, which is real estate. And I'm sure there's plenty of other people that have what they know in their niche with their, future self-directed IRA or their current self-directed IRA. So Adam, I also know that you are an author of 9 books. Is that correct?
9 books. Yeah. Yeah.
Why should someone go buy your books aside from you're a smart guy with a lot of experience?
Oh, you can't sleep at night? No. Well, definitely don't want to read all 9, but, I love to read. I'm passionate about it. I like to write. I'm a lawyer. My goal is if every day I can impact one person to just be like, open up their eyes and be like, hey, you can do this. You don't have to. I'm not here saying, everyone, you need to open a self-directed IRA. No, you should, but it's up to you. The key is education, it's knowledge. And the fact is, I didn't know about this. There's millions and millions and millions of Americans don't know about this. And every day I wake up and I'm like, hopefully I can just impact 1+ people each day to understand that the government allows you to do this. The US retirement system, people don't understand, it's rigged in our favor, okay? This is how rich people get richer. It's how smart people get rich. It's based off very simple principle of compounding returns, which people don't understand, power of 72. That means if you average a 9% rate of return, your money doubles every 8 years. You average a 10% rate of return, your money doubles every 7.2 years, okay? Albert Einstein said compounding returns is the 8th wonder of the world. It is, and that's what the US retirement system's built on. So whether you're buying stocks or real estate or gold or cryptos, I don't care. Save, take advantage of the retirement system. That's how you'll grow wealth. That's how you'll build a legacy for your family, and that's how you'll get rich.
I love that. What was the math on that again? 8%?
It's called, see, look, this is exactly it. Like, this should be taught in elementary school, right? It should be taught in high school. I always give this example. I went to university. I went to a really good university. I went to law school. Got a master's in tax law. I never took a class on compounding returns. Not one. I had to figure this stuff out myself. So that's crazy. I mean, think about all the crazy stuff we learned in college, right? Like all kinds of crazy classes, right? None of them helped me. Well, most of them didn't help me, but I should have been forced to learn about retirement saving, compounding returns, how mortgages work, how insurance works, how the retirement system works. So rule of 72, you multiply your rate of return by 8. So if you can average a 10% rate of return, or excuse me, everything is out of 72. So you do 10 times whatever gets to 72. So if it's 10% rate of return, 7.2 years, 20% rate of return, it's going to take you around, 3.7 years or so to double your money.
Got it. Okay. First of all, for the record, speaking of learning random things in college, I am the proud finisher of a Native American flute class in college. So there we go.
I took art of listening, where we had to we sit in a room and they would play a song. We'd have to say who the musician was.
I think adding a compound interest in retirement class or curriculum is probably a good idea for universities and schools, for that matter, in general.
Honestly, like it doesn't have to be in a full-time class. Just like a 5-hour just tutorial would be interesting, but maybe one day.
Yeah. Now, my other question I had, because you mentioned as a business owner, what's it called? Solo 401k?
Yes.
So obviously the benefits of a solo 401k is you could put a little bit more money into it versus an IRA. But aside from that, what are the other differences between those two types of accounts?
So a IRA is under Section 408. A 401k is under Section 401. The big difference is 401k has to be set up by a business. An individual IRA is set up by a person. So the good news is, for a 401k, it could be a sole proprietor business, an LLC, a partnership, C Corp, a S Corp. It's very flexible in terms of what is a business. So whereas an IRA, Adam has to set up an IRA. There is something called a SEP IRA and a simple IRA, which are business types of IRAs, but they're not as rich and robust as a 401k or solo K. So a solo K is basically a mini 401k that you would get if you worked at Apple or Google or Tesla. But here's the advantage. A solo 401k and a Google 401k will allow you to put employee deferrals away, which is $23,500 or $31,000 if you're over 50, okay, dollar for dollar. And then Google will probably give you anywhere from like a 3 to 5% match on your salary. So if you work at Google, you make 100K, let's say they give you a 5% match. You get $5,000 plus whatever you put into your 401k. Let's say up to 23.5 or 31k. A solo K will give you that same 23.5 and 31k, but it also has a profit sharing component that's not basically 4 or 5%, but it can go all the way up to 25%. So let's say I made 100k. Instead of working at Google, I work for myself. I'm a freelancer, gig economy worker, and I want to max out. I'm doing really well. I have a S corp, let's say. I'm under 50. I can do 23.5 plus 25% of 100k, my W2. That will give me, 40, almost $49,000, right? And then there's all kinds of cool tricks where if you have extra room, I can get you up to 70k in Roth, so I can put in another 20 something thousand in Roth. You can borrow against it. You're the trustee, so you have the self-directed checkbook control, great asset and credit protection, could be in pre-tax or Roth. There's so many cool things you can do, but like you said, you could put away, Trent, a lot more than an IRA.
Right, because I think last time I looked, the IRA max, this might have been a couple years ago now, was like $6,600 a year, maybe.
Yeah, now it's 7. It's 7,000 or 8,000 if you're over 50.
Yeah, so the main difference is the amount that you can put in there. And
Yeah,
401k is post-tax, right?
Could be either. So a 401k, just like an IRA. So let me just back up here. So an IRA, a pre-tax IRA is pre-tax, meaning if you put in 7K, you get a tax deduction for putting in the money. Tax deductions are great, right? They reduce your taxable income. But when you pull the money out after 59.5, you pay tax on what you pull out. That's known as deferral. Your money grows tax-free in the plan. When you pull it out, subject to income tax. If you pull it out before 59.5, you pay tax and a 10% penalty. A Roth IRA is an after-tax account that was created in 1997. Roth 401ks are becoming more and more popular now. A Roth is after tax, as you mentioned. So no tax deduction when you put the money in, but here's the catch. Once you're 59.5 and the Roth has been open 5 years, so it's 59.5 and 5 years, whatever you pull out is tax-free. And the 401k has the same feature. So I wrote a book, it's not here, In God We Trust and Roth We Prosper. All my retirement money is in Roth. So my goals, I'm not 50 yet, but in the next 10 years, I'll reach 59.5 or so. I'll be able to pull whatever I want out tax-free. And if I die, it goes to my spouse, tax-free. If she dies, God forbid, my kids will have the ability to pull that money out tax-free for 10 years. So it's a great way to use the money while you're alive tax-free. You can leave a tax-free legacy to your spouse or your kids. And it's the best legal tax shelter out there.
And that's inclusive of the gains that you make in that?
Oh yeah. So here's the example. This is he's my mentor, my idol. I'm not mentor, but definitely my idol. So there's a guy named Peter Thiel. He's a multi-billionaire, very smart guy. He was one of the founders of PayPal with Elon Musk, Palantir, Alex Karp, and one of the first investor in Facebook. So this is what he did. He actually worked with a mentor of mine in the late 90s. And when he was starting PayPal with Elon Musk and a few others, he put $2,000 in his Roth IRA and they bought PayPal stock. And it was a new company. So he bought it at par, like pennies for a share. And within 2 years, he sold it for $27 million, tax-free, right? And then he took $500,000 in the Roth and he was the first investor into Facebook. And he turned that into almost $400 million tax-free within a number of years. So yeah, thank God in America, there's no maximum. I have clients that have over 100 million tax-free in a Roth. So that's the goal, right? That's what you want to strive for, is to be a Peter Thiel. He has $4 billion in a Roth tax-free.
Not a bad position to be in.
Not a bad, but he's under 59.5. Here's the catch. So can't touch it for a few more years, but you could actually touch the money you put into the Roth. You can pull out any time. It's the earnings on the contributions. You have to wait the 59.5 in 5 years.
Well, I mean, he had some pretty good investments. So unfortunately of that big account, he's not pulling out a whole lot.
Exactly. There's not a lot of contributions. He's got to wait. I think he's 56 or so. So a couple more years. And yeah, he'll have the best tax-free windfall in the world, probably.
That's amazing. So Adam, where can people hear more from you or learn more from you?
Yeah, I think going to our YouTube site's really good. IRA Financial, thousands of videos and tons of information. You can check out our website, IRAFinancial.com, IRAFinancialGroup.com. Tons of free information, tons of blogs, videos, podcasts, all kinds of tutorials. You can also call us. You just call IRA Financial, and there's people, amazing team members that are so well versed in the stuff, and free consultations. Like, you can ask us questions. We're not charging you. We just want to help. And even if you turn around and use another company or don't do it, no pressure, no strings attached. Just try to learn. We're here to educate. And hopefully you do end up opening a self-directed IRA and making a lot of money tax-free.
Where can people find your books?
They're on Amazon. You can just search, Adam Bergman, or just type in, like, my new one is called Self-Directed IRA. Do I have it here? I don't have it here. Mastering the Self-Directed IRA. It's I think it's around 150 pages, not super long. It's organized in a chapter. So if you want to start at the beginning and get the basics, you could. If you already know the basics, you can skip to the kind of the meat of the book and get more information on more advanced topics. So I would do that, Mastering the Self-Directed IRA. I am working on a 10th book on the solo case. So that will come out hopefully in the next year.
Very nice. Well, Adam, thank you so much for answering my questions. I know I learned a lot, and I'm sure I already have a friend in mind that I'm going to send this to as soon as it's done being edited, who needs to hear this. So thank you so much for joining us today.
It was a pleasure. Thanks so much for having me, and really appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Real Estate Professionals Investing Podcast on WIN, your community of investing knowledge for growth. We hope that this episode has increased your knowledge and added value to your path to freedom. If you would, please take a second to rate us so that we can get more great investors to interview. If you or someone that you know wants to be on, please visit westsideinvestors.com and fill out our form to be on the show. Thank you again, and enjoy your day.